high school can be a pretty rough time academically, socially. It's a big adjustment, right? And part of it was tough for me. And choir and madrigals was sometimes the only reason for getting up in the morning and going to school, frankly. I did okay in a lot of classes, but in the quantitative ones, sometimes I really struggled and had to take some classes over. But I really wanted to go to choir or madrigals. I didn't want to miss that because it really felt good to me. I felt accepted, but more than that, I felt a part of something that was worthwhile. The harmony and the blending and the camaraderie and just being a part of something that was beautiful really spoke to my heart. And it just felt so good. I don't think I analyzed it until years later, but it had a lot to do with me being consistent and persistent.
I never felt like I belonged to anything. I'm too tall, I'm too awkward, I'm too loud, I'm not smart enough, all those things. But when I walked into choir and I walked into madrigals, I belonged to something really important and good. I felt so welcomed, so part of something special, that it's made absolutely the biggest difference in my life. Booth Phelps is a saint in my life because he was everything my father wasn't. And so he did take on a fatherly role that was gentle and kind. I can still hear ringing in my ears, "Stand up straight, be you," who's be me. And that's all he wanted me to be. I didn't have to be smarter or be in a better school or anything. I was pretty enough, I was tall enough, I blended well enough.
I do think that a teacher has a tremendous opportunity to influence lives quite aside from whatever the topic is, whatever the subject is. And it is a great reward when you see that some little thing you did made a difference in these lives. When we go into education, we don't expect to get rich. But we sometimes discover that there are some unexpected perks.
And he just pulled me aside and he said, "You're enough. You are enough. You don't have to be better than that other person. You just be enough and be kind and it'll work."
Lou got to me early in the year. He cared about us, and I think he showed us that caring by having high standards. He was really investing time in us, and that was heartfelt, and that came across somehow as love, not just demanding of excellence. And that kept me going, and it taught me some lessons about persistence. But even to this day, I feel his caring, and the whole class, the whole choir, returned that caring to Lou. And that's, I think, the foundation of why we come back all these years later. There was something special there, and it had its basis in caring, which developed into love, I think.
I think it's the best thing that happened to me in high school, especially considering the fact I went to 4 different high schools, and I never really felt a part of anything because I was never in any one school long enough to ever fit in and belong and really create lasting relationships. And so when I became a part of the Madrigals, that to me was the most meaningful thing. It was so enjoyable. I loved music anyway, and I loved the challenge. I loved the excellence with which we did everything. But we just had so much fun together. We developed such good friendships, and it was the first time I felt like I really belonged to something that was meaningful and significant.
A difficult time. I came from a different school to a group of people I didn't know. But in music, if you can read the music and you sort of can sing along with everybody else, you can immediately step in. You don't have to wear the right clothes. You don't have to say the right thing or have the right parents. It was a great equalizer. We were all the same because we could sing.